I hope you have unlimited text messaging. By Ms. Gar. Chapter 91. Interlude 18. So, are you dating Captain America now? TMNS. So, are you dating Captain America now? Me. Well, you just go for the jugular. No, hi. How are you doing? You don't even bother to tell me your side of what happened Saturday night. All I have are agent's reports and things now former staff members leaked to Twitter. Me. You could at least let me know that you're not grounded for life because your aunt realizes that you're a superhero in your spare time. I would like a heads up when she does find out so I can make sure I'm still out of the country or at least suit up because she's going to try to kill me. TMNS. I'm okay. The bruises from Saturday are already gone. I think you're talking about Agent Coulson. I did tell him what happened, so the report is accurate. Thankfully, my aunt still doesn't know what really happened Saturday. She actually believes the story that I saw something when she dropped me off at Liz's house and told Miss Laura's friend Agent Jimenez with the ATCU. TMNS. Why did Agent Coulson give a fake name? Me. Because he was supposed to have died in the Battle of New York. Although I'm pretty sure his ex in Portland knows better. TMNS. That's where Liz is moving to. Oregon, anyway, not necessarily Portland. Liz knows about the alibi because high school is worse than Twitter and Flash is an asshole. TMNS. So abandoning her to lead the police straight to her father and his illegal activities doesn't win me any points with her. Actually, it got me in the dick. Since she was leaving, the principal just looked the other way. That's also Oliver Flash's Tumblr account. The caption reads, Peter Parker gets his penis punched. Me. Not anymore. Friday loves you. Me. That happens with a lot of relationships. Although in my case, it was a shield to the chest. You try to do the right thing, and then you end up alone because you did the right thing. In the end, it's better to do the right thing. TMNS. And yet, you still somehow ended up with Captain America after what happened in Germany. Me. The current Captain America is kind of head over feet for Agent, and she'd rather deal with blue aliens than her feelings. I think it's why we kind of like each other. I'm with Stephen Carter, who may look a lot like Steve Rogers, but is a totally different person. TMNS. Are you sure Agent Coulson doesn't have a thing with Miss Laura's ex-husband? Also, do you take me for an idiot? It totally makes sense that you would bring me in if you were worried about your boyfriend. You would rather deal with it yourself than have someone like Secretary Ross hurt him. Me. They did, but they don't know because he died. And then undied and didn't tell anybody. Also, I think Laura is still married to Purple Arrow as far as I know. She was just saying they were divorced because Ross is a bastard and kidnapped her once to get to him. TMNS. What happened in Germany? What really happened? You told me that he was crazy? Why did you bring me in? Me. Which in hindsight was not a complete lie. You can't be doing what we're doing without having an entire 747 worth of baggage. TMNS. What happened? Me. I wish I knew, but it's really complicated. But I will say, when you love somebody, even if that love is platonic, you will make very questionable decisions to keep that person safe. TMNS. Why do adults always say things are complicated when they don't want to provide a straight answer? Me. Because everything about the situation was complicated. There's no quick answer to the superpower regulation question. Do I want the government to turn you into a weapon? No. Do I want the watchdogs to have your home address? Hell no. Do I trust the Secretary Ross? Again, hell no. Do I think that we should be able to do what the hell we want without consequences or oversight? No. Me. Then you add in the fact that there was this asshole playing head games to break up the Avengers because my idea to bring about world peace ended up killing his family. And you get super complicated. TMNS. He did that to break up you and Steve? He wanted you to lose the person you love because you accidentally made him lose the one he loved? Me. We were not together at that point. But see earlier statement about loving someone and questionable decision making. TMNS. But you are now? Me. Despite the fact that this connection is super encrypted, I'm a little afraid to acknowledge the current status of my really complicated relationship with Steve Rogers. You told your BFF you had superpowers. I'm a little worried about this ending up on your Twitter account. TMNS. He found out accidentally. I haven't told anybody the truth. Me. Did he figure it out just like I did? Or like Liz's dad. That was in the real version of the Agent report. TMNS. I started changing out of my costume before checking to see if I was in the room alone. But it's okay, he's not going to tell anybody. Me. Really? TMNS. He took detention versus telling one of the teachers what he was doing in the computer lab last night. It probably didn't help somebody was playing your sex tape on the computer right before Ned took over. It was in the browser history. Me. I knew I should have put a copy of Friday in your school's computer lab. Me. Also, please don't watch that. I was high, and my parents were murdered just months before. Not that I knew that at the time. But regardless, I was in a really bad place in a relationship with somebody who did not love or respect me. Which totally explains why he secretly videotaped what we were doing and made millions off it. TMNS. Is this why you didn't publicly date Ben for so long? Me. That whole messy episode is probably why I didn't date anybody for so long. It was the beginning of my trust issues. Stefan is my second serious relationship. Pepper was my first. A lot of mistakes were made on all parts. TMNS. Germany? Me. Germany was definitely a mistake. I really shouldn't have got a 15-year-old involved in my complicated interpersonal problems. But when you're in love with someone, you make choices that are not always the best or most logical. Love is rarely logical. TMNS. And you love Steve Rogers? Me. Can I wait till I'm back in New York in a few days to explain? TMNS. I'm going to take that as a yes. Me. It's more complicated than yes, and I'll explain everything in person in a few days. We also need to talk about your superhero future, since you figured out that you are more important than your costume a lot earlier than I did. TMNS. I'm young, we pick up things fast. Me. Another thing we need to talk about. TMNS. You're not going to say that I'm too young for this? Me. You are, but you're just going to do it anyway. And bubble wrap is not an option. TMNS. My aunt says the same thing a lot. Me. She has more experience with teenagers than I do. TMNS. We appreciate honesty. Me. I'm trying to be as honest as I can under the circumstances. However, I have to go because my boyfriend just stepped out of the shower. TMNS. Who happens to be Captain America? Me. She's next door. She also prefers Agent America, but that's only because the guy she is in love with prefers it. TMNS. I know you're with Steve Rogers. Me. Because of everything going on, I'm going to be back in New York a little earlier than planned. I'll stop by in a couple of days. TMNS. Okay. Hey, does this mean I'm getting my suit back?